batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Here, ready to move out.
Hey everybody, Spider-Kel back once again for another Batman Automobilia review. This time number 2 in the line, the one, the only, the 1966 Batmobile from the classic TV show. One question before I carry on, how many of you are still singing that theme tune? I bet quite a lot of you. Yeah, this has to be one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable cars that there is in Batman and in anything else. I think it was up there with the likes of Kit from Knight Rider, the General Lee, Blues Brothers Mobile. It is just an instantly recognizable car, and I think probably for a lot of people this is their Batmobile. I think so many people grew up watching the Batman TV show with Adam West, Burt Ward, and I think a lot of people are going to see this one and this is going to be theirs. I did say that when I started to review the Batmobile that is mine, I would mention it. It's not this one. Might surprise a lot of people, but this isn't mine. This is easily one of my favourites, no question about it. I didn't watch the 1966 version, I wasn't around then, but I watched the reruns when they were on TV. And it is very much how I got into Batman. I did very much like the TV show, and the Batmobile was just a fantastic car that I absolutely loved. However, this isn't mine. This isn't the one that really got me into Batman the way I am now. But that said, I know a lot of you out there will look at this with fond memories, and we'll look back at this and remember how much fun the TV show was, because it was. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it destroyed Batman and so and you know, and it's gave Batman a bad name." I really don't think it did. It was fun. It was daft in places. It was just ridiculously silly, but at the same time, it made Batman into what it is now. It put Batman right into the spotlight where everyone watched it. And we wouldn't have the Batman we have today if it wasn't for this TV show. And I still think it's fantastic fun to watch. I really do. And this Batmobile, as I said before, is just instantly recognisable and very many people's favourites. As you can see here, we have the magazine again on the centre pages. And once again, we have this beautiful kind of centerfold piece where it lists all of the gadgets that come with the Batmobile. And as you can imagine with this one, there's a lot. Yeah, they use quite a lot of things in the TV show for this Batmobile, called at the top there, the Wheeled Wonder. No surprise, really. And yeah, you've got the anti-theft rocket system there, the ejector seat, the mobile crime computer, bulletproof bat glass, the chain slicer and the ram, the bat beam. Just so many things that this came with. As well as the fact I always remember when they drove down the road and loads of mines were blowing up and they put on the armour which protected the Batmobile, but it didn't stop the tyres from deflating. But one press of the button and the tyres blew back up again. And yep, this thing could do anything. It was fantastic, it really was. And yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful cutaway here of all of the different things. And also details at the front of the book how they designed the car and the car that it was designed from. So that's a very interesting read as well, and how they actually came about building it. And I think they only had a couple of weeks to actually come up with this design before the filming started. So the fact that they came up with this in a couple of weeks and it's become so iconic, that's a pretty cool thing. But yeah, so that's the magazine. And where do we go next?
To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Absolutely, to the Batmobile. And this is incredible. I absolutely love it. The detail that is in this is just fantastic. We had the last one, which was obviously, as I've shown already, the Batmobile from the 1989 Batman movie, and that was an amazing piece. But the problem with it is, especially when you look at this one, it's just kind of a black tank. I'll just put this to one side and I'll show you kind of like a comparison of the two. There we go. And if you look at that one, it's a wonderful representation of what it looked like in the Batman movie. But when you look at it, it's just black. There's nothing else to it. You know, you've got the silver down here, but that's about it. There's nothing really going for it. There's no more detail or anything like that. Whereas this Batmobile had so much going for it and so much detail, and obviously as well an open cabin, that there was a lot more to look at, and they have represented that absolutely perfectly in my opinion. I really think that they have done such a fantastic job on this. We'll have a quick look at what it looks like in here. We have at the front there Batman TV series, and if you look at it like that just, it looks fun. It looks like it's in the Batmobile. That is just amazing. The bits of detail that we have with it, the other bits that we have is a little scanner here, and then two Bat computers in the background, along with the reactor that is in the Batcave. I think it always calls it the turbine reactor or something like that, but atomic reactor I think it was, wasn't it? And we also have two more computers over here which are printed onto the card. Again, your usual Batman symbol on the top, looking a lot like the one I used for my chess collection reviews at the beginning. But yeah, this is just fantastic. But we'll get this casing off so that we can have a good look at it. There we go. It just gives us a better chance to have a good look at it, rather than the reflection of the light from the plastic and things like that. There was one other thing I wanted to mention that I realised about the first Batman Batmobile that I hadn't mentioned, and that is on the underneath. I kind of showed you and went, yeah, there's nothing under there. We do have a couple of screws. I'll just zoom in a little bit there. So we do have a couple of screws there, which obviously are what attach the Batmobile to the base. So if you wanted to, you could unscrew this, I would imagine. I've not tried it. I don't intend to try it. And I will say that if you do decide to do this, I can't guarantee if it's going to damage the Batmobile or if you're going to be able to get it back onto the base very well. I've not tried it. I'm just pointing it out. Okay, don't come back at me if you wreck it because you've noticed the screws, okay? Just saying, there are screws on it, so if you did want this as a standalone piece without the background pieces or anything like that, it looks like that is possible. Ain't trying it though. I just don't want to risk it because I like it on these bases and in these boxes. But we'll look into the detail of this Batmobile, and there is a lot. We have obviously the black, beautiful black bodywork on this with the red trim. On each of the wheels we also have, it's going to be very difficult to look at all the detail on this because there's so much tiny detail. We have the red Batman logos on the wheels. On the back here we have the anti-theft rockets. We also have this rather nifty antenna. On the back we have the obviously the infamous turbine rocket booster, and the two bat parachutes, which would deploy out and miraculously make the Batmobile turn 180 degrees, I should say, not 360, 180 degrees on the spot, like that. And how on earth bat parachutes could do that? But hey, it's the Batmobile, it can do anything. As you can see under there, we have Bat 1 from Gotham City. Incredible, absolutely incredible. The bat fins on the back, and again with this, the detail in it, as I've said and as I will continue to say, is just amazing. We have a blurry, come on, there we go. We have the bat siren, along with, I've never known what these two things are, no idea, but yeah, we have the bat siren. And on the front we have the grille along with the lights, and also at the top here the Batbeam. Now I remember my dad had a Batmobile. It was probably from the 1960s as well. It came with a Batman and Robin that sat in there, and it was one where when you pressed this, the bat chain would pop out, the chainsaw would pop out the front there, and my dad always let me play with it when I was a kid, and I just loved that feature, and I actually back then thought that that's what that was for. I didn't think anything of it until obviously now when I look at it and realise that's the Batbeam. So it had the Batbeam on there, and you just pressed that, and that's what made the chainsaw come out. But yeah, and that was a fantastic figure, to the point as well that I will say that I have actually picked up 2 of these. This one obviously is the one that I kept, and I also gave one to my dad because he is definitely the 1960s Batman. He loved that. He grew up with that, and I knew that he'd enjoy it. And he recently helped me out with the garage, and I've been plasterboarding and things like that, and he gave me a hand with that. So I got him this as a kind of a thank you, but I knew he'd like it, so yeah. If we look inside here as well, try and keep my hands straight, 'cause I'm shaking a bit this morning for some reason. We have the Bat steering wheel. I'm going to refer to everything as Bat, by the way, whether it is or not. It is, everything is, isn't it? It's the Bat beam, the Bat steering wheel, the Bat tyres. I like as well in here how we have these fold-away segments that housed kind of like the radar, the TV monitor and things like that, and we have them beautifully replicated in there. Across to here we have the mobile bat phone over there, as you can see. Just behind that we have a lever which escapes my memory as to what that was used for. I forget now. We have at the bottom there, see if I can get in any closer. There we go. We have at the bottom there a few more dials and a few more gizmos that they can use. At the back there we have the seats with the Batman symbol on it. Do we have bat belts? No, we don't have bat belts. Oh well, never mind, no bat belts. And at the back there we have the Bat fire extinguisher. Oh, it's brilliant. So as I say, this has so much detail, so many things have been recreated in this, and it's just incredible. It really is. You know, we've gone from, like I've just pointed out at the beginning, we've gone from the Batmobile from the 1989 movie, where it's just basically a black tank shell. It's been recreated incredibly well, don't get me wrong, and I still love that Batmobile, but that's pretty much what it was. It was just a black tank, black shell. Whereas this had character, it had colour, it had so many features that were on show, that it's just been created beautifully well. It really has. This is an amazing piece. Absolutely amazing piece. And it's a case of, even if you're not collecting the whole line, as I've said before, I'm not, this is definitely one that you're going to want in your collection. It is the pinnacle, the Batmobile. Let's be honest, this is the Batmobile. And whenever you mention a Batmobile, I'm sure this is, if not the first one, it's one of the first ones that come to your mind. It's fantastic, it's beautiful, well crafted, well designed, well painted. 10 out of 10. I cannot rave about this enough. I really can't. It's just amazing. And I would say now, if you're only going to get one out of this line, make it this one. Seriously, it's that good. It really is. I kind of expected it to be good, but I didn't expect it to be this good. Yeah, and I just can't recommend it enough. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about it. Hope you enjoyed the review, everyone. Thank you so much for all of your comments about this new line that I'm reviewing. Glad you're enjoying it so much, and I hope to bring you as many of these as I can. As I said before, I don't intend to get all of them, but there are a lot of them that I really want to get. So I hope you enjoy the ones that I do review. Thank you very much for your comments and subscribing. Feel free to continue doing so. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you soon. Take care.